To this day, this was either one of the nicest things I've ever done or one of the stupidest things I've ever done. I don't want to end up chopped into 100 pieces, strewn about the desert, and having a convict steal my car. I am on the bus the other day, and I'm taking it home. Now, the guy in front of me is talking with another passenger. He's having a difficult time because he just got out of jail, and he's trying to make his way back home. He's asking if the guy can give him any money to help him get his way back. I know what you're thinking. That's a sob story. The dude's just trying to get money for whatever it is. It happens all the time on the bus, and that's legitimate. But this guy, there was something different. So keep in mind, this man is not talking to me. He's talking to another passenger. I'm eavesdropping. And I hear the story. It sounds familiar, but the longer he tells it, the more compelling it gets. The place he's going to is an hour and a half away from where the bus stops. And he is determined to get there. He's throwing out ideas like he's gonna walk down to the truck stop that the passenger told him about, and he's gonna hitchhike or talk to the truckers, or if he can't get there, he's determined to walk. The more and more this guy talks, the more and more his story's coming together. And it strikes me that he's not a bad guy. He just made a stupid mistake. He doesn't belong there. So another passenger was kind enough to let him use their smartphone, and while he's on the phone, he hits speakerphone, and I can hear the conversation between him and his wife. His wife is scrambling to try and get someone to pick him up, but again, it's an hour and a half away. She doesn't have a car. They're trying neighbors and cousins and all these people who have cars, but it's late at night and they can't get to them. I know that this is not a scam. This guy is genuinely trying to get home. He misses his wife, he misses his dog, even misses his truck that he's working on. But he's trying to get home any way he can, and he's actually doing some forward momentum. He's trying to get there, and he's determined to walk if he needs to. So what this man reminded me of is that one uncle that I know everybody has. That crazy uncle who's not a felon, he just makes bad choices. I start getting this feeling deep down inside, you know what? I would hate to be far from my wife, trying to make it home, trying to do this incredible journey, and just not be able to see her the moment I get out of jail or something like that. I feel for the guy. My wife is far away. You all know that from the vlog. And I came up with the idea. The idea was this. I'm gonna sit and read my book, and I'm gonna continue eavesdropping and evaluating this guy, and I'll see if he can get help from another source. If somebody else can help him, that's great, because I'm not wild about taking an hour and a half car ride using my own gas and things like that to get this guy where he needs. Because at the core of this, you did do something stupid that ended you up in jail, and it is kind of your fault. We get to the bus stop, we get off, and this man has found no solution. He's even talking to the bus driver as I'm getting off for 5 minutes. I decide I'm gonna go home, get in my car, and if I see this man getting off the bus and walking in the direction of the truck stop, kind of legitifying his story, I will help this man out. I will sacrifice my time and gas, and I will drive this man all the way back to where he needs to go. So as I get in the car and I drive around the block, I do not see this man. I decide I'm gonna do a second lap around the block to try and see, can I really find this guy? Because if he's really in a jam, I wanna help him out. The second lap around the block, I see him, but here's the issue. I guess the reason I didn't see him the first time, he went into the gas station, probably made a phone call, but he bought a beer. Now, if you're begging people for change to try and get home, and you're walking along with a beer, you're clearly not prioritizing money in the right fashion. Should I even bother? But I decided, you know what? Let's go with the story I heard. He's having a rough night. Maybe, I don't know, if it was going to take me 8 hours to walk back home, I would want a beer, because that's just insanity. I decided, all right, we're going to go for this. And I'm going to call this guy John. I see John walking down the street, beer in hand, smoking a cigarette, and I rolled up and I rolled down my window. I said, John, get in the car. I'm taking you home. So John gets in my car and sits down. He's ecstatic. We actually had a very decent conversation. He was a very educated guy, and I asked him along the ride, I said, John, why did you end up going to jail in the first place? John tells me that he has a paint business, and for whatever reason, even though he had the money, he made the stupid decision to shoplift a paintbrush. To which I asked, a paintbrush? Aren't those like $3? Well, this was some fancy $20 paintbrush. He starts telling me about all of his time in. He said he read a lot of books. He said he was got transferred to the kitchen duty at one point. To which I asked, gee, I've never been in prison. What do they serve you in jail for lunch? A peanut butter sandwich, a small bag of baby carrots, a wrapped package of a cookie or two, and then a Kool-Aid packet. Kids, don't go to jail. That sounds like the least appetizing thing I've ever heard of served anywhere. After about an hour and a half, we got him home. It would still be another an hour and a half before I got home, but his wife comes out to meet us. She's ecstatic. She gives him this huge hug. The dog that he has runs out. Dog jumps all over him. It was an extremely happy ending, and I couldn't have been more joyful that I chose to help this guy out. During this reunion of John, his wife, and the dog, he's incredibly ecstatic. His wife starts talking to me, thanking me unbelievably, and they decide they'd like to do something nice for me. They told me, here, we'd like to give you this, and they give me a $20 bill. I said, you don't have to do that. I'm happy to do this. I would hope that somebody in the future, if I was ever in a situation like that, although I wouldn't end up in jail, but if I was ever stranded, I would hope that some stranger would, out of the kindness of their heart, help me to get where I'm going. Now, the weirdest thing about this whole story is that in the end, John and his wife insisted that I should take the $20. I refused it twice, but the third time I was like, all right, I'll take it. Here's the greatest thing about this whole story. In the end, they decided to give me $20 for being so nice to them. And if we go way back to the beginning, the paintbrush that John stole was worth $20. So if we look at this, this is like one big circle. John, wouldn't it have been easier to just pay the clerk at the store $20 for the paintbrush than waste 3 weeks of your life in jail and then eventually giving somebody else $20? It's a very weird karma-like situation there. Full circle, it really is.
Hey everybody, it's Chris from Hey Freshman. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, be sure to hit that like button. And while I don't want to pressure you, if you want to subscribe, also appreciated. Be sure to check back in for more great videos in the future.